to about one of the exchanges that went down during the Friday's crash. This guy says you lock people out of, and I'm not naming any names, that's why I pulled the thread down, but you lock people out of buying during a massive crypto crash. That was not a good look. I will personally be moving all my stuff to Caleb and Brown. This showed me that no matter how much I like an exchange, it can't be trusted in times of high volatility. This is what I fought with some of the most reputable exchanges, folks. They all freeze up and go down during these crashes and during the runs. And that's one of the many reasons that I chose to partner with Caleb and Brown and put a lot of my XRP when the market either crashes or booms. The market's kind of down today. We got a 242 XRP. Keep going. I'm going to swoop some more up. There's a lot going on right now, folks. A lot going on. This is U.S. government shutdown is now forecasted to last more than 35 days. This would make it the longest in history. When you look at the news today, you can't help but wonder if all of this is almost coordinated like a ballet, what's going on, if you pay attention. 206 billion has been wiped out from crypto in the last 14 hours. Now listen to this.
So here posted this last chart of the day, probably the most important. Altcoin open interest, blue line, bottom, now back to levels last seen in April after tariffs began. Altcoin open interest adjusted by market cap, now back to near multi-year lows. The market is looking materially healthier, even with Bitcoin still trading about 110K. It's not looking that bad, guys. Come on. Actually, I slept right through this whole crash. I woke up, I was like, oh, what's going on in the markets? And I went to social media, like, oh, shit. I was chilling, man, except for my XRP trade getting stopped out, ETH trade getting stopped out for very small losses. I didn't get liquidated on those positions, but not everybody is lucky. Over the weekend, what did I buy? I bought more Solana. I bought more Pump, a little bit of Aster. Coinbase did let me buy many such cases. Texas Motors, not just you, man. A lot of exchanges failed us at the last minute, but here's the good news.
Not Caleb and Brown.
Leverage has been almost completely reset in the market, which means likely we have a lot of leverage come back into the market, which means prices will go up exponentially, likely from here, of course, assuming that Trump doesn't come out and tweet some great.
Okay, now let's keep our eye on the ball here. That's the reason I'm able to calmly accumulating in these downturns is because of stuff like that.
There are $20 trillion of real world assets that are waiting to enter the cryptocurrency space. There's $100 trillion of global markets that the cryptocurrency space can expand to, and cryptocurrencies will enter mainstream consumers' everyday lives, and all Fortune 500 companies will adopt them. That is the reward for cooperation. That is the reward for objectivity, and that's the reward for fairness in the rulemaking that comes forward. Every single leader in this industry has to recognize that and realize that this is a very rare moment where we get that reset. And if we act with humility and we act with unity, that reset will happen quickly, and we will be able to get a very significant package of bills passed during the next 2 years. As these conversations are ongoing, I won't comment any more on them, and we'll just wait for the transition to do its process. And I look forward to seeing the specific ethics requirements, and I look forward to seeing the other things that come to play, and also understanding what the balance is between the legislative branch and the cooperation there and the executive branch of the United States, because it's still unclear how those two components are going to come together, how this policy is going to come together. Much more will be clear in the next 60 to 90 days, and I will be traveling to Washington, D.C. on a pretty regular basis throughout all of 2025. And as I mentioned, the sole goal of our policy office will be to make sure laws get passed that give our industry clarity and fairness.
Awesome. Now listen to Paul Barron about where he stands on things.
Where are we going to go from here? Some people say retesting the lows, then up. Many people say, no, we're on a V-shaped recovery from here. 56% of you are very bullish. And some of you saying that the market is over. I do not think that is the case. It is possible we could see another major event that causes a downward trend. The question is, will that happen before the end of the year? And will it flush out even another group of crypto holders going to the next level? So you don't get wealthy by gambling and borrowing money. You get rich by stacking assets. And that's the key here. Whether you're getting into digital assets, gold, even businesses, that's the key. Hold through the noise, Leverage is basically the killer here, unfortunately, and I think this is the problem that a lot of people are going to roll into. And real estate is the one I'm looking at right now that could potentially take a big hit in 2026. Where are we going to go from here? Some people.
Okay, now, I mean, like I said, everything feels coordinated with the PR Wall Street machine. Today, Andrew Ross Sorkin's book came out, Too Big to Fail, 1929, Inside the Greatest Crash in Wall Street History and How It Shattered a Nation. So I said the PR machine's in full motion because you got Jim Cramer tweeting it. If Jim Cramer's tweeting out a book about the Great Depression, it feels like maybe we'll do the opposite. The Great Reset, Boomtown. And then Muhammad El-Arian retweets it. This well-written, entertaining book takes the reader on an engaging journey through the 29 crash and its aftermath. It explores the ambition. And remember, the other day when the tariff thing was going on, Trump tweeted out, I know President Xi in China does not want another Great Depression, and neither do we. It just feels like this is all a ballet dance, folks. Now listen to this about gold.
They made the people turn into gold. What were they giving them, like $22 an ounce? Once they got all the gold? What did they do in 1934? Oh, the Gold Reserve Act? They pumped up the price of gold 70% after they stole it from the people. 70%. They're going to do it again. They're going to jack up anything they can to get rid of this debt. No way, no how are they going to be able to get rid of it. And that's why you see the dollar going down. And that's why you see gold prices going up. This is a rocket science. Lower the dollar, the lower interest rates fall, the lower the dollar falls. The lower the dollar falls, the high gold prices go because it's cheaper to buy in other countries whose currencies are going up. I had never seen gold prices spike like this since I've been following it since 1970.
I think it's over $5,000 now. Meanwhile, the governments in coordinated fashion are saying things like this.
So that we can do the right thing. And by the way, talking of the gold,
They want it going into Bitcoin and not gold because that's what they're buying.
That Brown sold. We've currently got about £5 billion worth of seized Bitcoin. And she's planning to sell all of that. And what I'm urging is, no, let's keep it. Let's have the Bank of England and let's start to build up and make Bitcoin a reserve category as well. So,
okay. And then you got this. U.S. government swaps 667.6 Bitcoin worth $74 million to a new wallet. U.S. government just shifted it from a seized assets wallet to a fresh address. Remember when Chris Giancarlo talked about, what was the phrase? I've tweeted about it several times. Letters of marque and reprisal, where you go out, you take stolen crypto, and then you use that to put it in the reserve of the United States. I think they're going to do that with Bitcoin, XRP, and several others. Now, this is from Canary Capital. They're the ones that are issuing. This is one of their analysts. And what he says here makes sense because you got to look at how these things work. It's not necessarily going to be instant price go up when XRP ETFs come out. I know that's what everybody expects, but he makes a lot of sense here.
What is the thought on XRP ETFs and its price in general?
Can't comment directly on any XRP ETF filing, but what I will say is any alt that has an ability to gain flows via public markets should and could potentially may see that flow in Q4, right? Especially if it's never had that. I mean, I would caution people with early expectations of flows. If you think about ETH had no flows for like months, right? And then finally, again, if we go back to this, I'll just scroll through it. If we go back to this slide, the ETH ETFs launched mid-2024. We really saw no flows until the end of the year. And then only recently, in 2025, finally saw flows. So ETFs aren't a use case for a digital asset, but if people are trying to express an idea, they can do that through ETFs if they so choose. If they're trying to gain access to any coin. So if you have the flows coupled with even ranging, like XRP, for example, on a technical basis, has been ranging for months and months and months, really the entire year. If a good base can be put in, coupled with flows, I think that's a recipe for a decent move higher in Q4, or maybe even into 2026.
I think it's going to be an interesting Q4 and 2026. Okay, we're going to go into daixrp.com. That's the Patreon. If you'd rather join through YouTube, click join below any of these videos, or you can go through X and hit subscribe.